Welcome to your G&T Breakfast Show. And we would like to welcome a very special guest on with Tom and I this morning, Hazel Lloyd Lubran from Dementia Action Week, to talk about Dementia Action Week. A very good morning to you, Hazel.
Bore da, good morning.
Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, you're very welcome. Dementia Action Week, can you tell us, about it, please?
Gina, we really want to mark Dementia Action Week in West Wales and Pembrokeshire because we are launching our 5-year regional dementia strategy. Now, I'm Vice Chair of the West Wales Regional Partnership Board, and this strategy has been developed by working with people living with dementia, their carers, and as well health and social care staff across the region. And the work started before 2021. So it's been developed in partnership with Hywel Dda University Health Board, the 3 local authorities in West Wales, and the third sector. And as part of the West Wales Regional Partnership Board, we come together to see what we can do to improve health, social care and wellbeing services for people. So the dementia strategy has been a really important part of our work over the last couple of years. So it's great to be launching it during Dementia Action Week. And this year, the focus is diagnosis. And the strategy provides us with a bit of a roadmap, a bit of a route map to help and support people who are living with dementia and their carers, and to help them to live well and independently for as long as is possible. So the strategy outlines our pathway and our goals as a region, and our goals that we want to meet to better help and support people living with dementia and their carers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you go for it, Gina.
No, I was going to say, so if one of our listeners thinks that maybe a friend or a family member may be, having dementia, what's their first sort of port of call, or what do they need to do if they are worried?
And I know you've been fantastic in supporting Dementia Action Week, and I know that there will be slots throughout the week, which will go into a bit more detail about the different services and the different support available to people in Pembrokeshire. But we understand that getting a diagnosis of dementia is really, really challenging and is a difficult process. And our memory assessment services are changing the way they work in order to increase the rates of diagnosis that we have across West Wales, so that we're reducing waiting times and just really trying to make the process as easy and as supportive for those living with dementia and their carers as possible. And we've seen significant improvements actually in that service over the past year, but there is always further room for improvement. So that is one of the key pillars of our strategy moving forward. We do really want to make it easier and more supportive, the diagnosis process easier and more supportive to access as well.
Yeah. And how important is it for people with dementia and those families around them that a diagnosis is sought? Like, what support can come to someone that has that diagnosis?
With diagnosis, it's easier to access the support services afterwards. We can't just improve that diagnosis process without actually improving the support behind it. Once you've got your diagnosis, you then need to be supported. And there are a number of projects which I'm sure you will touch on throughout the rest of the week. Fantastic support services and initiatives across West Wales. One of which is the Dementia Supportive Community Project, which is run by our colleagues in PAVS, Pembrokeshire Association of Voluntary Services. Cherry Evans and the team work with communities to help people better understand dementia. It can be a really, really complex illness, and And the more of us that understand the impact of dementia on people and their carers in the community, the better we can develop supportive communities for people to live in. And that project actually won an award in 2022 recognised for all the work that it's doing to help people living with dementia achieve the very best quality of life and really feel part of their community, feel confident, feel supported by their community as well, and that people are understood and really respected. And through this project, people have been able to continue with their hobbies and their interests, which is really fantastic for individuals in Pembrokeshire.
I was going to touch on that very briefly. I know that Cherry Evans and Pavs have been to various businesses across Pembrokeshire to become dementia friendly, which is making things a lot easier for people suffering with dementia and also their families as well, just to get around. It's surprising how little changes can make a massive difference.
Yeah, and if any of our listeners get a chance to go on any dementia-friendly training or information sessions, then I'd urge you to do so. It really is an eye-opener, and it really tries to help us all to understand what individuals with dementia have to contend with to be able to live their life independently, and can also help us help their carers as well, which is really, really important. So if you get the chance, sign up, turn up, and be part of it.
Fantastic. Now, you've been mentioning that we have got people joining us all through the week for Dementia Action Week. So on tomorrow, we've got Chloe Wilcox and Sian Davis from Age Cymru Dyfed. They're joining Toby on the daytime show at 11:30, talking about the information and advice services that they offer. Wednesday, the Cradle Choir are going to be performing in the Torch Theatre. It's an event there, so either we'll be there in person or they'll be joining us in the studio remotely. And on Thursday, Kirsty Morgan from Alzheimer's Society, talking about the symptoms and how why to get a diagnosis. Then she'll be joining us at 9:15 on the Breakfast Show. And Friday, Charlie Duhigg, Admiral Nurse, talking about the support available for carers and family members. I suppose, was that something that came back in your pathway, Hazel? Is that it's a family illness. As much as one person gets the diagnosis, it impacts everybody.
It does, and I'm glad you've got somebody representing the Admiral Nurses later on in the week, because they were launched in 2021 and really do support the carers of people who are living with dementia, because it is a really difficult caring role. There are lots of changes to somebody's relationship with the person that they are caring for during the diagnosis and as the illness progresses as well. So we are seeing some really, really positive impacts on the well-being and the mental health of the carers who are being supported by Admiral Nurses. And I think, in terms of the development of the strategy, it really has been co-produced. We really have listened to those living with dementia and their carers in developing the strategy and developing the services that we need to be focusing on in West Wales, in Pembrokeshire, over the years to come. We need to hear from those living with dementia and their carers to make sure that we continue to improve. It will never be perfect, but we really want to improve the services that we provide for people living with dementia and their carers. So it's really important that we hear from people to help us shape those services.
Fantastic. And then just to recap, what are those milestones that you're hoping to achieve in the strategy to finish off?
Well, basically, there is one end, really, and one really, really important end. It really is to be able to better support people to live well and independently. So that's what we're aiming for. And as part of that, we want to further improve the memory assessment services, build on the Admiral Nurses services, look at dementia supportive communities across Pembrokeshire and West Wales. And we're looking where there's ongoing development to develop a dementia wellbeing connector service as well. We know how difficult it is sometimes to navigate the support and services available. So by developing the Dementia Wellbeing Connector service, then people will have a clear contact point to help them through that journey. Ambitious, and there's a great deal that we need to be doing together across West Wales to improve the well-being and to encourage the independence of those living with dementia.
Fantastic. And if people are interested and want to know more, I assume, Gina, this is what you're going to mention about who do they get in touch with, and what next? What are the next steps?
Well, keep in touch with the development of the West Wales Regional Care Partnership. We have channels on social media and a website. And in Pembrokeshire, obviously, Cherry Evans is a really, really important contact in PAVS, as we've already mentioned. And keep listening as well. Keep tuned to all the updates from the various projects and initiatives across Pembrokeshire throughout the week, and get in touch with those individual projects. But yes, it's fantastic to be able to launch the strategy during Dementia Action Week.
Lovely. And we'll have those contact details in the comment section of this video. So anybody across Pembrokeshire, if you are suffering, if you are suffering with dementia, if you're a family member, friend, maybe you're worried, any questions at all, please do get in contact, and hopefully we can direct you in the right place there as well.
Yeah, some of the weekly or monthly or bi-weekly groups that run are actually on our website, purewestradio.com, on our community events, recurring events. So you can take a look there as well for more support that you might not be aware of. In the meantime, though, Hazel, thank you so much for joining us this morning to launch Dementia Action Week here on Pure West Radio. Talk about this new strategy, which could only going to do better for those living with the disease, the living with, and the families affected by it as well. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hearing from all these other guests throughout the week here on Pure West Radio.
Thank you, Tom and Gina, and good morning to you both.
Thank you.
Bye now. Bye.
Rima, Selena Gomez, calm down, if you please. It's 9:32 here on Pure West Radio.